On this week's Flame Central, we go out of the office and onto the course with Liberty football coach Hugh. And the Flames get some love from the camera.
Plus, a powerful story of a former Liberty offensive lineman living out his mother's dream. It all starts now on this edition of Flame Central.
We have reached the end of July, which means what? It means we're knocking on the door to the football season. That's what. And we have a lot of football to talk about on this week's show.
That's right. Welcome to Flame Central. He's Matt. I'm Emily. Liberty football begins fall camp next week, but that doesn't mean they haven't been busy.
No, they sure have been busy. And they've been busy getting a lot of pictures taken. I don't know too many college-age kids who don't enjoy being in front of the camera, and the Flames loved every minute of their media week. Every player getting timed photos done, videos, all of which will be used throughout the season in a variety of ways. Liberty's creative team going all out to highlight these athletes as the 2022 season right around the corner.
Yeah, it'll be here before we know it, which is why head coach Hugh is crazy busy, nose deep in scouting opponents and watching film. But you see, life is all about balance. And this summer, there's a little bit more downtime. Sometimes you have to get out of the office to clear your head or just find that competition that's missing in the offseason. And for Coach Freeze, that's on the golf course.
I used to laugh at people that played golf, being raised on a dairy farm, and I played 3 sports, so we didn't have golf. And I never really understood it, and I never played until I got out of college and started coaching high school football, and I went, and the first time you hit one solid, you're kind of hooked. Pretty good start there. And I was hooked pretty quick. I do probably love it too much. It's kind of like the only thing that, in a weird way, relaxes me and creates competitive juices for me. I can't compete at anything else anymore at 52 and not in great shape, but I can come out for 4 hours and I seem to find a way to get the ball in the hole and compete with most people I play with. Thank you. Nice start. Take 17 more of those. I don't go out to eat. I don't want to go anywhere really. I'm not a big travel guy. My best vacation is like today. I was in the office at 6 a.m. I did some scripting. I did some working on my teaching plan. I met with the entire staff. I'm gonna play golf, and then I'm gonna go back to the office before I go home and check on things again and sleep in my own bed. That, to me, is the greatest vacation. Come on, baby. Go in the hole.
Oh, yeah, good shot. Very nice.
In golf, you only need to lock in for 45 seconds, a shot, and then relax. And I think I can do that pretty good, and this is kind of like I'll take it easy until it's time to play the next play. Or like football, I don't have 45 seconds to make that next call in football, but here, as I'm walking down the fairway or riding with a friend, in between shots, I usually can separate it unless I just did something boneheaded, and that would irritate me. But I usually think my way around the course pretty well. Ooh, pretty close. Good hole, team. Pretty good hole. I just love it. I love the friendships, the group we have to play with, and I love having to grind to compete.
Messed up one, but we came back
on 2.
Coach can swing it a little bit now. Hey, listen, we keep telling you, go get your Liberty football season tickets today. I'm told they are in high demand, so don't wait. Get to Williams Stadium to see the Flames take on Virginia Tech, BYU, and more. Go to lufootball.com to secure your tickets today.
We stay on the gridiron for our next story. Julio Lozano is a former Liberty left tackle from the Houston, Texas area. He loves the game of football, but to him, family is everything. That commitment started when his mother made the ultimate sacrifice years ago to give her children a better life.
Often people come in and they're asking me, hey, are you Donaleti's son? And I say, yeah, and they'll be like, wow, you know, you're carrying on her legacy, you're doing a good job, and no matter what, just keep going at it. Moved here when I was 2 years old from El Salvador. My father passed away at an early age. My mom moved us, me, my brother, and my sister to the States. She pretty much just raised us by herself. She was always working at restaurants, hotels, in the kitchen. So she kind of just gained a lot of knowledge from all those places. She was usually the best at it, at what she was doing. And she said, well, if I can do it here, I should be able to do it by myself.
Ana Doña Letty Hernandez would begin selling fruit out of the back of a pickup to help make ends meet. Her business would grow and eventually expand to a food truck.
It was hard for her to fail at anything because she always worked so hard.
Her son, Julio Lozano, would inherit that work ethic, but he'd put it to use on the gridiron.
I actually never played football a day in my life up until my senior year of high school.
But Julio would be a quick study, and his play would earn him a football scholarship at the JUCO level. And then 2 years later, at Division I Liberty University.
Right there, they work over left tackle Julio Lozano.
Lozano would go on to be a 2-year starter for the Flames and receive his college degree. But despite his success, he had a longing to help out back home.
When I would come back to visit or whenever I came back, she was, you know, struggling kind of. She was doing most things by herself. I kind of just hated seeing that, so it definitely felt a responsibility to come back and help her follow her dreams.
After attending rookie camp with the New Orleans Saints, Julio had to make a tough choice about his future in the sport.
I decided not to go at it after I was done with camp because my mom really needed my help at the time with the business. And it was kind of, I was the medium to help her get to where she really needed to.
Back home in Houston, Texas, Julio and his siblings would help their mother take that next step, launching a restaurant.
I try to visit her almost every day. Just sit in my thoughts and talk to her.
The loss of his mother came about a year after the opening of the restaurant, bearing her name. Her gravestone etched with an encouragement to the children she so dearly loved.
Mis hijos, mi riqueza en la vida fueron ustedes. To my kids, my richness in life were you guys. Don't cry as my mission on earth has been accomplished. My time on earth may have finished, but in you guys' heart, I'll live on for eternity.
Fueled by his mother's memory, Julio is determined to carry on her legacy in the business that was her passion. He's currently prepping a second restaurant location for launch, fulfilling a promise he made to her before she died.
All the credit goes to her and my siblings. They put in a lot of work to get to this point. And I think she would just be shocked at from where she started to, you know, what she has now, 2 restaurants.
Back at Doña Letty's, the bustling kitchen is run by Julio's sister, Marcela. The food made with the same care and personal touch it has always been. All 3 siblings working together to keep their mother's dream alive. A family business to its core, and an enduring tribute to Doña Letty.
She always told us, whenever she's gone, you guys have each other, take care of each other. She always said that family comes first, and we try to keep that till today. Even though she's gone, we're still very close.
Because for me, nothing has changed. Just she's not here physically, but everything else stays the same.
Thanks to our Jonah Jabor for producing that piece. Really cool to see what Julio and his siblings are doing there. And that second restaurant that you talked about, opening up any week now, and on the outside of it, a mural of his mom in honor of her, so they continue to live out her legacy.
I know she would be so proud, just seeing them still together as a family working on her legacy and her dream of these restaurants. I'll tell you what, we ate some of that food, Matt. We ate ourselves into a food coma. Some of the best food I have ever had in my life. We'll definitely be back.
Yeah, I need to get down to Houston soon. Staying on the offensive line, on Tuesday, it was announced that guard Brendan Schlittler has been named to the Outland Trophy watch list. The Outland Trophy is awarded each year to college football's best interior linemen. The redshirt junior is one of 89 players to land on the watch list and is someone the Flames hope can be an anchor on that offensive line. All right, we turn to the track now. It felt like we talked about Liberty sprinters every week during this past spring. The 4x100 relay team was the best Liberty has ever produced, and the coach behind this group, he's pretty elite himself. During his time at Liberty, Pete McFadden has done more than just teach athletes to run fast. He's also been a steadying influence in the life of many who needed it.
A small town in South Carolina is called Olanta, South Carolina. Real small town, not very big. Growing up, it wasn't the best ideal situation growing up. We had a lot of tough times. My older brother, my younger brother, my sister, and I, and my mom lived in a two-bedroom shack.
As a young boy, Andrew Pete McFadden lost his dad in an automobile accident.
Losing your father, you think you lose your protection, you lose your guidance, you lose a person that's going to mentor you.
McFadden's mother, finding herself a single parent, had to work multiple jobs just to make ends meet. This left her little time at home with her children.
There was nobody that sit there to help us with homework. There was nobody here to tell us what to do. We learned on the go. She cooked us our meal. She cooked a meal every single day. The meal was on the stove. When we got home, we ate. We did what we were supposed to do. And if we didn't do what we were supposed to do, when she got home, she let us know it.
Sports would be an escape for McFadden, with baseball being his first love. But during a game in the 10th grade, a nice grab would catch the eye of a coach from a different sport.
Saw me catch a ball that was directly over my head and asked me to come out and play football. So that's how the football career got started.
McFadden excelled on the gridiron at Lake City High School. In fact, his standout play would lead to a JUCO scholarship at a military school in Georgia.
I'm definitely in a whole different place, a whole different world, a whole different environment. And that was really difficult for me because that whole freshman year of there being at military school, I went from being best male athlete in my high school to sitting the bench the whole entire year. I played one play. At the end of that year, most people went home for the summer. I didn't go home. We didn't go home just because I kind of felt a little embarrassed because I didn't play any my freshman year.
Determined, McFadden put in the work in the offseason, and it paid off in a big way.
So I went from sitting the bench my freshman year and not playing at all to the MVP of my team my sophomore year. So I had some offers to Cincinnati, Wyoming. I had an offer even to Florida State.
But while visiting back home, his high school coach would offer some advice.
I told him I didn't know I was going yet. He's like, I want you to check out Liberty. I had no idea what Liberty was, who Liberty was, where Liberty was at.
McFadden ultimately chose the Flames. Just as his move to JUCO had been a difficult one, transitioning to life at a small Bible college took some getting used to.
At JUCO, you go from drill sergeants and people and coaches that just curse you out every single day till you come into a Liberty environment where they're telling you they love you every single day. And I'm like, hold on, all this love thing is a little too much.
An electric kick returner, McFadden ran his way into the record books for Liberty football. He'd also put his speed to good use as a sprinter on the track team. And it would be as a member of that squad where his faith would come to the forefront.
But I think they really just changed the culture of, who I was just coming to the track team. I just think they had a different kind of culture. Bible studies, the groups and stuff that they had people. They wanted to get closer to God. They wanted to learn more about God.
And that foundation, along with the support of his coaches, provided the encouragement McFadden needed. During a difficult time for his family back in South Carolina, McFadden was planning to quit school and go home to help. But an assistant coach stepped in.
She just pulled me to the side and she didn't sugarcoat it. She didn't feel sorry for me in that moment because I was thinking about quitting. She's like, what are you going to do when you go back home? Don't you think the best thing for you to do is finish school? That's the best thing you can do for your mom.
Tough love that left a lasting impression.
I think her telling me that, I could tell that was no games in that. I could tell that she wanted the best for me. And it really gave me an opportunity to really sit down and think about the decision I was going to make.
After graduating from Liberty, McFadden would end up working in the counseling field. But all that would change with one phone call.
Got a call from Coach Toes me like, I got a job opening. I'm going to put it in the paper in a couple of days, but if you want it, it's yours now. I'm like, wow. I'm like, of course I want it.
Core tight, up tall,
Chest up.
And not long into his coaching career, God revealed to him his purpose as a coach.
When your kids come in here, their professors will change, their friends will change, their roommates may change. You'll be, as their coach, the most consistent thing in their lives for 4 years before they enter into the real world. What are you going to put into them? And that really changed the way I thought, changed the way I coached. Encourage them as we practice today.
This new approach would be a blessing to former all-conference sprinter Abby Flower.
Before school, me and my friends, we would always go to Coach Pete's office. After school, if we didn't have a class or study hall, Coach Pete's office. So he was always there for us outside of the track.
Never more so than in the aftermath of a personal tragedy during Flower's junior season.
That experience just transformed her life and my life.
He just walked me through it, and like there were days we'd go to the track and just walk in circles. And it was just stuff like that that really just showed me like he cares more about me than just an athlete.
Let's go, Bryce. Let's go, Reed. Here we go.
More than just an athlete, God has guided Coach Pete McFadden from that 2-bedroom shack in rural South Carolina into a leadership role in the lives of many.
There you go, guys. Good job today. Give yourselves a hand.
It's a calling he doesn't take lightly.
We got better. If they have not grown to the place they've got their degree, they're going to go out and be successful in their career. They're going to make a difference in their community. They're going to be good parents one day. If we have not instilled that in them, it doesn't matter what we do on the track, because that's what's going to last them a lifetime. Good job. Here we go. Let's go, ladies. Here we go.
Coming up, we take you to the beach for a powerful story about one Liberty alum and the sport of surfing.
Plus, you've seen the Flames on the football field, but how will they fare on the paintball field? Find out when Flame Central returns.
Shedler untouched. Goodness, what a sack. Says, boys, that's how we do it. 10-5, right about. Yes, touchdown, Liberty.
What is your dream? Your calling? What's the path to get there? It might be clear, or you might still be figuring it out. But at Liberty University, we want to empower you through every chapter of your story. Here, you can discover not just how to do things, but why to do them. And you'll have opportunities to practice and excel across different fields. And that doesn't just end at the classroom door. Your strengths and interests can also fuel your calling, and they embody more than just the classes you choose. So at Liberty, you can train, perfect, find a team to call your own at every skill level. There's more to your story than just the destination. It's reinventing, discovering, finding you are not alone as you chase your dreams. And those dreams don't have to wait until someday. At Liberty, we unite through Christ to pursue things larger than ourselves, to make a difference in both our communities and world, because in Him, we are able. So, what is your calling? Liberty University can fuel that calling, and your outcome will change the world.
Welcome back to Flame Central. God has an amazing way of giving each of us unique gifts and interests, which help guide us to our calling. For Liberty alum Laura Matera and her husband Joe, that passion is found in surf and skate. But while their ministry was thriving, they would receive news that would change their family forever.
I married my husband in 1995. He was a surfer himself, just had an incredible passion for surf and skate, and also with that had incredible passion to share Jesus Christ with his community. After we had been married a couple years and were getting ready to have our second child, he came home and he said, I'm going into full-time ministry with Christian Surfers United States. So 4 years we spent with Christian surfers ministering to our community through the sports of surf and skate. And after 4 years, we transitioned to FCA. So I was running alongside of my husband, Joe, as he was doing all of these things. And then our kids were running alongside him too. And so we were a complete family unit when we began the camp 18 years ago. In 2010, he and I both began to feel, coming out of that summer, that God was going to do something new in our life. And I mean, we were excited because things were going so well for us. I mean, we felt like we were a bit of a golden family. You know, we were enjoying our life. We had 3 sweet girls, and we were in ministry. And in December of 2010, he had a minor surgery and was diagnosed with terminal cancer. It really took our breath away because we realized in that moment that this is what God had been preparing us for. So now here we were, you know, in the last 6 months of his life. And so 6 months came and went, and we did everything we could to keep him going. We pursued every single thing there was to be healthy and whole. And so God granted us 2.5 years, which was amazing. We were going into our summer in 2013, and he started to feel sick, and he started to go down. We run an 8-week camp season. He died 4 weeks in on a Sunday night. And I remember being afraid to fall asleep that night because I would wake up the next day and he wouldn't be there. But I also remember waking up the next morning, and I had 3 young girls, and I was like, we are standing up so that people will see and know and consider and understand that it's holy God that has kept us together. So we stood up, we went to camp, and we went to camp because it's the only place we knew. These camps are different because the sports of surfing and skateboarding and all of action sports is different than a traditional ball sport. Here in action sports, relationship is infused in all those spaces. We're creating relationship at the park. We're creating relationship in the water. We're creating a relationship on the beach. And so what a joy to take a sport that already has a relational component and then introduce a relationship with Jesus Christ. We want them to leave with an idea of what the sport of surfing is like, and then to see them grow athletically during that week. But we also want to make sure that everybody that comes to camp has an opportunity to understand who Jesus Christ is, what he has done for them, to walk away knowing that God loves them and that they can invite him into their hearts and they can be in a personal relationship with him. I know that my call into ministry is a personal one. I know that God has called me to be in the places that I am. I always joke that in all the time that we spent together, from the time he got sick to the time he passed away, we talked a lot about who would take over the ministry, but my name never came up. After that year was over, I felt a true calling to do ministry full-time through the work of FCA in our community. It's the 8th anniversary of my husband's going to heaven. Since the beginning, we go out to the beach early in the morning and we swim and surf in the sea. But we also spend that day doing ministry. It's the day where we have the most people in our life. There's an incredible honor in not only doing the things that he loved, because that's an important thing, but also in serving the God that he dedicated his life to. I shared with my staff last week, I said, you are living a dream. You are living a dream. And I'm assuming that most of them were thinking, you're right. I'm standing on the beach. I'm in the water. I'm a teenager. I'm getting paid to be with my friends and surf, right? I'm living a dream. But the dream was, that Joe Matera had a desire to share Jesus Christ through the sports of surfing and skating, and that was his dream. But he never fully realized his dream, and other people are living it now.
Amazing story. Okay, still to come, Liberty football fights its toughest battle on the paintball field. That's when Flame Central returns.
Top of the circle, sends it down low. Nice move. Gamer in front, scores! What a move! A snipe from the top of the circle, high on the glove side. Flames, a great shift here so far. Quickly fired ahead, down deep. Lobber after it, fires it around, and that's going to do it.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Before the Flames get serious and locked into fall camp, it's important to have some fun.
Right.
But the definition of fun might look a little bit different for a bunch of football players.
We're talking about a little game called paintball. And Matt, it wasn't just the players. The coaches got involved too, and things got, well, colorful.
Getting ready to go against this purple team. They look pretty formidable. They move in unison. I think we got problems.
Let's do this.
Oh yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of people missing some shots.
You can't miss no shots. You cannot miss no shots. You got to hit every single shot.
I got tagged before I even got to my spot.
They got me pretty good there at the end.
Strategy just got to get better out there for the white team. But we come, nice fun day with the guys. I love it.
Spray them, spray them, spray them.
That looks pretty intense. I'm thinking the next Flame Central group outing. Paintball.
I'll tell you this, I will be wearing a shirt. Those guys that are going shirtless, bad idea.
I'm wearing football pads.
Oh, that's probably a better idea. All right, hey, we're about out of time. As always, go to libertyflamecentral.com to see all the stories you may have missed. She's Emily, I'm Matt, and we'll plan on seeing you right back here next week.